Hi everybody, welcome back to this video. Without any more introductions, let's start our lesson. Today's lesson is about completing the square. In order to find the roots for quadratic equation, we need to do something like factoring or using quadratic formula or the elegant systematic way, which is completing the square. It's not a trick, it's a system, an elegant system that anyone can do. It's nothing like quadratic formula or just factoring. It's a system that we are gonna follow. We're gonna create the steps for each part in this system. So I need you to imagine this. You had a scene, but you don't know what is happening behind this scene. Completing the square will let you know and see what is going on. So let's start. First, we need a standard form for quadratic equation, which is ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. The first step that we need to do is to ensure that the leading coefficient is equal to 1. And the leading coefficient over here is our a, the coefficient for x squared. Just divide the whole equation by a. After ensuring that a is equal to 1, I'm gonna rewrite the equation in its new standard form. So if a now is equal to 1, I need to write it as x squared plus b over a. So over here we're gonna have b over a, but I will write it as like assume that this is a new b. So I will have bx plus also the new c. Assume that now your new standard formula has b and x, which came from dividing these originally by a. So you're gonna have over here plus c is equal to 0. Let me give you a very simple example. If we have 2x squared plus 5x plus 3 is equal to 0. Now this is in its standard form. I need you now, as a first step, divide the whole standard form by a, which is divided in by 2. You will have x squared plus 5 over 2x plus 3 over 2 is equal to 0. So our c and our b that I am talking about is 5 over 2, okay? This is the b I am going to talk about, and this is the c over here, the 3 over 2. So after making sure that the equation in its standard form from here, now divide all of this by a and make sure that a now is equal to 1. Then we're gonna go through our next step. Step 2, move the constant to the other side. So we will move the constant, our c, to the right hand side of the equation. So the equation now will become x squared plus bx equal to negative c. Step 3 is completing the square. And over here we have several keys to talk about. In this step, it will include on its own 3 steps. Okay, and I am breaking down to you to make it as easy and obvious for you as possible. Okay, but over here, let's first decide what is our goal from here. What do we need to do and why it is called completing the square. So this is what did we reach for, okay? X squared plus bx is equal to minus c. The key point to understand this is to remember the perfect square trinomial. Where is the perfect square trinomial came from? So when we have x plus, let's call it any other name. So let's say x plus y squared or x minus y squared. Both of these will give us, we will have over here x squared plus 2xy, okay, plus y squared. And from here, we can get x squared minus 2xy plus y squared. And now we have the secret sauce to convert from here to one of these, because these are the only two that will give us a perfect square trinomial. So this is what is meant by completing the square. So I am adding something from here, but I will also subtract it later to make balance of the equation, but it has to match the result from here or from here. So now we understand our goal is what? To bring up a perfect square trinomial. Before I will tell you about how to complete the square, remember the key point over here, which is perfect square trinomial. Okay, now let's talk about how to do that. So in order to complete the square, we have 3 steps. Step number 1, it will be all about this b. We're gonna divide b by 2. So we're gonna have b divided it by 2. It will give you b over 2. Next step, square this. You're gonna have b over 2 squared. Third step, add and subtract this to the equation in order to have balance. And that will lead us to x squared plus bx plus. Now we're gonna add and subtract b over 2, all of that squared. If we did this only, the equation is not balanced. Minus b over 2 squared equal to negative c. Now our equation is perfect. We're gonna have a result from a perfect square trinomial, which is which part? This part only. Regardless if p was negative or positive, it's not your problem, because the perfect square trinomial, again, if we have x plus y squared or x minus y squared, both of these results will give us x squared plus 2xy, and over here we're gonna have x squared plus minus 2xy, and from here we will have plus y squared, and from here also we will have plus y squared. We're gonna keep the plus p over 2 squared to our left hand side of the equation, and we're gonna move the other to the other side of the equation. So don't feel confused over here. Your goal over here, you know your key point about the perfect square trinomial, so the picture is clear in front of you. Step number 4, bring our constant to the right hand side of the equation. So again, we're gonna move the constant, which is negative b over 2 squared, to the other side. And our equation now will become x squared plus bx plus b over 2 squared equal to minus c plus b over 2 squared. Step number 5, factor the left hand side of the equation. Now, since we know our goal is the perfect square trinomial, so it is easier for you over here to factorize this, which will be x plus b over 2, all of this squared, equal to negative c plus b over 2 also squared. So over here, if you are wondering about this term, how did I write this over here? So if you break down this bracket, you're gonna have 2 times b over 2x, okay? So this will cancel out, this 2 will cancel out this 2, then you're gonna left with only bx. Next step, square root of both sides. And then you're gonna have square root of this side and the square root of this side. When solving any quadratic equation, try to recognize at which point or at which step you actually getting 2 answers. So from here, when you square root the right hand side of the equation, this will be, the result will be in plus or minus. This is the key for us over here to have 2 solutions for x, okay? This square root will cancel out this power to 2, and then our equation will become super easy, and we're gonna start solving for x. So we will have over here x plus b over 2 equal to plus or minus square root of, next we're gonna bring this term to the other side, then we will have x is equal to, we can write it as negative b over 2 plus or minus square root of, let's rearrange this part, we're gonna have b squared, b over 2 squared minus c. I'm not saying that this is easier than quadratic formula, but it's elegant to drive this each time for an equation. And if you need to memorize something, it's better for you to memorize this. So let's recap very quickly what did we do so far. First, ensure that the equation in your standard form. Second, ensure that your leading coefficient is equal to 1, and your leading coefficient is the coefficient for x squared, which is a. If it is not equal to 1, divide the whole equation by a, then you will get a new b and a new c. Then move c to the other side, then completing the square in 3 steps. The first step, divide b by 2, then square this, then add and subtract that to the equation in order to enhance the balance for equation, to make sure that your equation is balanced. And the key point from doing all of this is to have a perfect square trinomial out of only 2 term, which is x squared plus bx. And since we add and subtract, we actually didn't change anything in the equation, we kept the balance. Then we're gonna move move the negative b over 2 square to the other side, and we're gonna combine it with the constant that we have in the equation. Next, we're gonna factorize the left hand side of the equation, and it will become a perfect square trinomial. Then we're gonna square root both sides of the equation, and over here we're gonna have our key solution. We will get two solutions for x because of the plus or minus that we are getting from the square root of the right hand side of the equation. Last thing we're gonna do is solve for x, and from here we get this formula. You can memorize this, and this will actually work for any quadratic equation, complex, negative, any kind of quadratic equation, it will work for it. Next, let's move to a great example to apply this on it. And I will show you in this example the steps for using the completing the square, and also I will show you if we use this formula only, is it gonna give us the same result or no? Let's see. So we're gonna have 3x power 2 plus 5x minus 2 is equal to 0. First step, divide the whole equation. Since it is in its standard form, we're gonna go through immediately to the first step, which is divide the whole equation by a and make sure that a is equal to 1. In order to do that, we're gonna divide the whole equation by 3. So we're gonna have x squared plus 5 over 3x minus 2 over 3 is equal to 0. Our next step, move the constant to the right hand side of the equation. Then the equation now will become x squared plus 5 over 3x is equal to 2 over 3. Next, completing the square. We also gonna do it on 3 steps. Let's define first our b. Our b is 5 over 3. So the b is equal to 5 over 3. Then I'm gonna divide this by 2. So 5 over 3 divided by 2, which will be equal 5 over 3 times 1 over 2 will be equal to 5 over 6. And then we're gonna square these two. So we will have 5 over 6 power to 2. I'm not going to break the power now. I want to leave everything as it is. And then the third step, by the way, from here, add and subtract this term to the equation. And by that, we did the completing the square. So we're going to write the equation in order of x squared plus 5 over 3x plus our new terms, which is 5 over 6 squared. In order to maintain the balance for the equation, we're gonna add and subtract that. So we're gonna have 5 over 6 squared equal to 2 over 3. Next, we're gonna bring this part to the other side of the equation. We're gonna have in step number 4, x squared plus 5 over 3x plus 5 over 6 squared, 2 over 3. Okay, plus 5 over 6, all of that squared. So when I bring this term to the other side, it becomes positive. Now we can combine these two terms, 2 over 3 plus 5 over 6 squared. It is equal to 2 over 3 plus 25 over 36. Let's have a common denominator. We're gonna multiply the first fraction by 12 and multiply by 12. Then we will get 24 over 36 plus 25 over 36. Adding them both will give us 49 over 36. So I'm gonna rewrite the equation now, and it will become step 5 is factoring the left hand side of the equation, and it will lead us to, as a perfect square trinomial, we're gonna have x plus 5 over 6, all of that square. So we're gonna have over here x plus 5 over 6 squared equal to 49 over 36. Now let's assume you are confused at this part. How did I get 5 over 6? So let's break it down again. 5 over 6 times x times 2. You're gonna have 2 times 5 over 6x. When you simplify it, 2 will become 1 and 6 will become 3, which will be 5 over 3x, which is this term, 5 over 3x. Next step, square root of both sides. we will have square root of x plus 5 over 6 squared equal to square root of 49 over 36. From here, this square root will cancel out the power of 2, so we will end with x plus 5 over 6 is equal to square root of 49 over 36 is 7 over 6. Let's assume we did a terrible mistake, which is forgetting plus or minus. Last step is solve for x. We're gonna have x is equal to, bring the 5 over 6 to the other side by negative, so we're gonna have plus or minus 7 over 6 minus 5 over 6. From here, we will have two solutions. The first solution when 7 over 6 was positive, and second solution when 7 over 6 was negative. We're gonna have x1 is equal and x2 is equal. So x1 will be equal to positive 7 over 6 minus 5 over 6, which will give us 7 minus 5, 2 over 6 equal to 1 over 3. And from the next one, we're gonna have negative 7 over 6 minus 5 over 6 is equal to negative 7 minus 5 is negative 12 over 6. Simplified, you will get negative 2. X will be equal to 1 over 3 and negative 2. Okay, let's check our answer by using the formula that we developed in the first place, which was b. Now, if you remember completing the square formula that we developed few minutes ago, it was like this. X is equal to negative b over 2 plus or minus a square root of b over 2, all of this squared, minus c. Now, let's use this formula and let's compare between the result if our formula that we developed is correct or is our answer is correct. Okay, so let's see. First, we're gonna start with the equation, this one over here. So now from this part of this equation, we are having b is equal to 5 over 3 and c is equal to negative 2 over 3. Now let's insert b and c in the equation and let's see if the result is matching. So x will be equal to negative b over 2. b over here is 5 over 3. So negative 5 over 3 divided by 2. Plus or minus square root. Again, we're gonna have 5 over 3 divided by 2, but all of this is squared. Minus c, which is minus negative 2 over 3. Now let's simplify this whole thing. X will be equal to negative 5 over 3 divided by 2, so 5 over 3 times 1 over 2, so we're gonna have over here 5 over 6, plus or minus square root, again 5 over 3 divided by 2 is 5 over 6, and the square power 2 to that we will have 25 over 36, minus 2 over 3, so will be plus 2 over 3. Next, we're gonna simplify what is underneath the square root. So we're gonna have 25 over 36 plus 2 over 3. So 2 over 3, I want it to be has 36, so multiplying it by 12. Again, if you can see the same that we were doing over here, so it will be matching. So it's like good news for us. Will be equal to negative square root of 5 over 6 plus or minus square root of the result that came from here is 24 over 3. So 24 over 3 plus 25 over 36. 24 over 36 plus 25 over 36, we will get 49 over 36. And all of this underneath the square root. So x will be equal to plus or minus square root of 49 over 36, we will have negative 5 over 6 plus or minus 7 over 6, which is, as you can see, it is the same that we was doing over here. We're gonna do this in two ways with the two signs, not ways, Okay, so we will have negative 5 over 6 plus 7 over 6, and the other one will be negative 5 over 6 minus 7 over 6, and that will be equal. From the first one we will have 2 over 6. Negative 5 over 6 plus 7 over 6 is just 2 over 6, which is 1 over 3. And the second one, negative 5 over 6 minus 7 over 6, will be negative 12 over 6, which is negative 2, the same two results as we got over here, negative 2 and 1 over 3. Okay, we developed a formula that work perfectly for completing the square, and we derived the formula for both an example and the steps itself. So, and we got the same result from the examples that we have by using 1 times the formula and by deriving the formula. And that's all. You have mastered completing the square. I hope this video was helpful for you to understand completing the square and the delicate, elegant process of how we derive completing the square and the key point behind it. Thank you for watching. Please like, share and subscribe, and leave a comment if you have any question about today's video, and or if you have any suggestion for my next video. Please have a good day and see you next video. Thank you so much. Bye bye.